Mic. Camera. Action.
Tess, I'm telling you, we solved a 300-year-old mystery yesterday. All right, married or not, if we don't go after that ship, it's going to haunt us the rest of our lives, and you know it.
I wasted 8 years of my life on this bullshit. I'm going back to Chicago. I'm going to get my PhD, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life teaching, reading, and writing books. And somewhere in there, I'm going to meet myself an intelligent, successful man who can get through an entire conversation without using the word definitely.
First of all, I hardly ever say that anymore. And when are you going to stop selling this crap about going back to school? You want history? It's under the ocean, lady. Are you telling me you want to spend your life in some dark room, taking notes and writing books about what some grizzled old putz in another dark room cooked up in his head about things that you have actually seen and touched and pulled out of the sand with your own hands? Bullshit.
All right. Welcome back to Filmography, the show dedicated to watching every credited film from an actor's complete back catalogue from past debut through to present day in chronological order. Each episode, I'm joined by an esteemed guest to watch and discuss the next entry from their focused filmography and consider how it ranks amidst their career and whether we can trace any typecasting trends or topic traits or theatrical tics. Today, I'm joined by treasured guest Matt Rodgers to discuss McConaughey and Andy Tennant's Fool's Gold from 2008. We watch, you listen, and hopefully watch along too. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining me again for your second appearance on the McConaughey season 2. How
good
you doing?
Evening. I'm good. I'm pretty good. Although I'd like to distance myself from you endorsing people watching this, having a watch along. But there you go. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. You've done a few stinkers already, but I think this, for a film about finding treasure, we are going to struggle to find any in here.
Oh, listen, this is why you're here. Look at that magic already. It is really interesting. Obviously, like we tried not to talk too much before we got started, like recording and getting into it, because this is my halfway point essentially tonight. So it's great that you're on. This is film number 26. I know he's got a couple coming out.
Have you always started with the all right as well? Has that been from day dot?
With McConaughey, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Even the other episode you were on, you've just blanked that out.
Blanked it, yeah. Well, that was U571, so I feel like I'm the guy you bring in for the stinkers. So
yeah, you've been a bit unfortunate so far. We've got to get you a good one. But yeah, considering like we're halfway through, the stink level is it's pretty high so far. Unfortunately, he's had quite a up and down like first segment of his career, I'd say. We're getting to near the start of the reconnaissance now, really, and we know it's going to kick off and be much stronger from there. But yeah, I can see why he put a little pin in it and said, I'm going to take a couple of years off, because the percentage of ones compared to even like the Staith, like recording all of those, and I know you're not a big fan,
no,
but recording those, like they were coming in as mostly worth catching because every movie was kind of the same. So it was kind of, oh, that's worth catching because he's still good in it, or that's worth catching because the choreography is good in it, or that's worth catching because he's got good chemistry with X in it.
Yeah.
Whereas here, there's been a lot of like, ooh, this is either rubbish or this should be better, considering. And I think this is that category, isn't it? It's the re-steaming of Hudson and McConaughey. This should be better.
I think what McConaughey's going through now would not exist now. He's surviving on who he is alone and his personality alone, and the fact that some people would turn up to watch a McConaughey film.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of runs its course now. And yeah, I hadn't seen this in a very long time. And when I watched it, I was like, okay, it's Hudson, it's Penny Lane, it's my Penny Lane, and it's McConaughey, you know. And after their previous films, you thought, okay, however bad it's going to be, their chemistry is going to carry it. Their chemistry just isn't. There is none. There's no chemistry at all in this film.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if I quite agree there's none, but I know why you're saying that, and I think I know why there's that argument's there. I think they spend too much energy of this movie, A, keeping them apart, and B, keeping them at odds. Like the bickering stuff could be banter and could be fun, but too much of it is either serious and kind of maybe like poorly judged is the way I'm going to put it. You know, it's about getting divorced. A lot of it. Oh, how hilarious! Or it's literally like they're off doing their own thing and they're not really together. Because as soon as they do, kind of like the church scene and the graveyard scene, as soon as they kind of reconnect, I do think that kind of fizz comes back a little bit.
Do you think so? Because when they met in the church, I found like the build up to that was non-existent, and then when I kind of skip into the end, but
it's all right. Yeah,
that is one of the least effective union scenes. Like the kiss is kind of, it's so unromantic and unearned, and it just you've probably not seen the new Superman, but everyone has been going on about Lois and Superman's kiss and how it's one of the great kisses of modern cinema. Their kiss in the church is so like unsexy, for want of a better word. I thought that was terrible. And
it's okay. No, go on. Sorry,
I was going to say throughout the film, their history and their background is like reduced to throwaway moments of like how the sex was great, or like carry on cutaways. You know that bit where they cut away and they're supposedly having sex behind the statue.
Yeah.
But none of it is present between the two of them, for me anyway. I just didn't see a spark. And then when it got to that church scene at the end, I was just like, I don't buy it. And if we build up to this entire moment, it is just you rolling around off camera and then cut to an external shot. I was just like, my heart was unmoved.
Yeah, I think that's a totally fair argument. I mean, surprisingly, I have seen Superman.
Nice.
Really liked it actually. And I thought, total sidebar now, I thought like a really great way. I took my eldest, a really great way to introduce him to the character. He's not seen any of the Donnas. He's just not shown much interest in any DC stuff, really. We've watched all the Marvels, but I thought we walked out and I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad this is his first. This is his Superman. I thought I like the future. I can see where this is going.
But look how they do those scenes, because the strongest scenes, I know this isn't a Superman podcast.
No, please, yeah.
The strongest scenes for me in Superman were the back and forth between Lois and Clark, the argument, the interview, and then the kiss at the end. And that's a template that could have been kind of used here.
No, that's a totally good. It's a good comparison. It's a fair point. It's a fair argument.
I think their bickering in this is just a little bit too panto and a little bit over the top and a little bit too stagey. Because do you remember the bit when he first she sees that he's arrived on Donald Sutherland's boat, and she comes out and she starts screaming, no, and she has that over top reaction and storms off. And I was like, what kind of movie is this? It felt like it was going for farce.
Yeah, it does lean that, doesn't it, a little bit? I wonder if they've learnt the wrong lessons from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. We know that was a monster hit. And I wonder if, I think about when we talked about that movie, and the best scenes in that are when they do push it. Like the poker scene, I think, is the highlight of that movie, when she comes in and she's acting crazy or wacky. And because it's at that point of their fake relationship there, where she's really just trying to push him away and get him to dump her. Yeah, it does work. But I wonder if they've gone like, they were the best bit, so just be like that all the way through.
But yeah, maybe. But like the way she acted in that film, that was earned.
Yeah.
It's justified. In this, it's just they all act very strangely. It's all a little bit heightened.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you're saying heightened. I wrote down that I felt like it was a more restrictive role for Hudson. Like I didn't feel like she was allowed to go where perhaps her like comedic talents go. Like she's an extremely talented comedian, and I think they give her almost like the kind of uptight woman stereotype character, don't they? And they let him be the kind of free spirit, cool man. But I mean, I think this is really interesting because I think this is symptomatic of the movie in that it's not quite sure what it wants to be. Maybe it's all over the place, and you and I are thinking about this and coming at this and kind of from different places. But I like the fact that you're kind of challenging some of my views on it at the moment, because I think I was probably coming to this slightly more positive, it seems, than you were. I'm not going to herald this as a 5-star movie or anything, but I think How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days holds up. And I was surprised how bad this was in comparison, but I wonder if I was being kind of kind to it because I was wanting to find things to like about it.
Well, and maybe you had the echoes of having recently watched them doing that carry over to this, and like the characters bleed into one another. But it surprises me as well how clunky the relationship is in this, because the director, who I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Yeah, he's done some decent-ish films where it's a love story, isn't it? Because he did Anna and the King, didn't he? He did Hitch, the Will Smith one. So yeah, there's decent rom-com chemistry there, and this one just, I don't know. It felt to me like they were all having a great time, and then but then somebody would shout, "Oh, we've got to make a movie here," and then come over and do a couple of scenes. And
that is true. It does have that feel. I mean, I watched some behind-the-scenes stuff, and it's we had a great time in Australia. I'm sure you did. That's where they were filming, despite this supposedly being, I think, maybe Bahamas or Caribbean or somewhere like that. I watched a thing, I think it's called Unscripted, which is where actors, I think it's defunct now, but where actors ask each other questions that have been submitted by, fans or whatever, they've been emailed in, and then they get to ask each other a couple of questions as well. And it was Hudson and McConaughey, and the chemistry there was really good. And they were sort of laughing and giggling, and I was, it got my brain going a little bit, because they spoke about how he was expecting his first child. And then she was like, and he was like, obviously you had your kid a couple of years ago. And I was just, watching them thinking there's definite real chemistry there for sure. These two do actually, fine, they've gone off to live their life and they've chosen not to pursue that. But there's real, you could just see it in the way they're looking at each other and talking. And one of the questions was about kissing. And you could see Hudson being a little bit like, I actually don't want to talk about this because I actually did like kissing you.
On the kiss. Yeah. And going back to how real it is, the realest moment in the movie was that kiss in the sea at the end. Because remember the one in the waves, and they're bobbing in the waves?
Yeah.
It's it feels
after plane crash, yeah.
It's a bit of a mess up, yeah. And that was the only time where I thought, okay, I believe you two. Because it felt like an outtake, but it felt like the realest thing in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that church scene, I know we are bouncing around all over the place, but it's fine. As does the tone of this movie. That church scene, the actual act of them recoupling, I suppose, is a way to put it. Them shagging was cut, so there was more to it. But they cut it. So I wonder if they decided they were going to err on the caution of keeping it a bit more family friendly, keeping it in that soft side of 12. And we had, as you said, that kind of moment, and they fell down behind a statue, and it was we know what's going on there. And you're right, we cut to the outside, don't we? So yeah, there was more to that they chose not to use.
Interesting. I wonder what else ended up on the cutting room floor. There's a bit at the end as well, where, because in terms of McConaughey's evolution, are they still trying to make him a Harrison Ford type character at this point?
Well, this being a treasure hunting movie, we had Sahara, didn't we? Which flopped. Yeah. And now we've got this, and this very much kind of feels like a weird amalgamation of Sahara and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. But when was Deep Blue Sea? That's around now as well, isn't it? Or was that earlier?
Which is what I always confuse this movie with.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Very different.
No. Not that. I'm thinking of another one. What's the surfing one? Deep Blue? What's the one? Is it got Paul Walker in?
Oh, Into the Blue.
Into the Blue.
Alba.
That's the one I always used to get this confused with, because the posters are very similar, where they're both.
That's true, actually.
Wearing their swimwear.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Fool's Gold one.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Deep Blue Sea is not near this. That was 1999. Go on. Yeah. Into the Sea, isn't it? It's called. Is that right? Is that what we said?
What's that? The Paul Walker one.
Yeah, what do we say that was called?
I can't remember. But
Into the Blue.
No, do you know why? I've got confused because my mind went off, because I wanted to say McConaughey wears less clothes in this film than he must do in Magic Mike. It's
Oh
ridiculous.
my god, it's hilarious, isn't it? Yeah.
And
No, the
even
reason
how-
no, go on.
Even how the camera frames him,
Oh, it's
I'm like, come on, mate.
yeah. Yeah, no, that you just to pick up on your Harrison Ford comment, because that's what
Yeah.
I always thought Thomas Jane in Deep Blue Sea was. I was like, oh, who's this guy? Like, he has that kind of charisma. I could see him becoming it. Yeah, and that comes back to the tonal thing of this, doesn't it? There is moments where you're right. It wants to be kind of a farcical comedy, like when they've just got divorced and she goes and gets the guy that old guy's walking stick off the park bench and hits him over the head and stuff like that. That is
The
really fun.
amount of damage she does to people's craniums in this film is ridiculous. She is always going for people's heads.
And then at the end of the movie, it's like a Mission Impossible.
Oh, I wanted to put that. It is Christopher McQuarrie, eat your heart out.
Yeah,
with that biplane sequence.
Yeah.
Going back to the Indiana Jones thing as well, because their relationship in this is very similar to the whole Karen Allen thing, isn't it?
That's interesting. Yeah, like Marion and Indy. Yeah,
exactly. And there's a line at the end where in another film it would have worked. She says, "I would have come with you." I can't remember the whole conversation, but it's delivered like it would be by Karen Allen to Indy. And it's delivered in this, and I was just like, okay, you've not earned that line. So, it, like you said, it just goes in with how tonally all over the place this film is. Because, like you said, it feels like it wants to be like a Sahara. I compare it to Pirates of the Caribbean, because how close was it? This is post Pirates of the Caribbean, isn't it?
Yeah, that's early 2000s, isn't it?
It was like 2003, I think. But the music is so reminiscent of Pirates of the Caribbean. Whenever there's like a ship charging towards another ship, it's like do 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 do, but then they'll cut to another bit of plinky plonky music that's so tonally jarring. It's like about 4 people edited this film and they didn't know what kind of film they were making.
Yeah, maybe 4 composers working on the music as well. No, it is definitely true, because then when you get all this stuff with Donald Sutherland, we've got to talk about him, and we've got to talk about some of the accents and his daughter. All that stuff is weird as well, isn't it? Like how they're presenting her, almost prescient in some ways in terms of like the kind of influences that we have in our world now. She's almost kind of an early influencer, but that's again very, very broad performance of her in the movie, isn't it?
Do you know what though? That seems to be the only thread for me where there was any kind of connection, because it comes out of nowhere. But Donald Sutherland starts talking about her mother. And he delivers it like he's in Pride and Prejudice again.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on a minute. 30 seconds ago, I was watching the horniest movie ever. And now Donald Sutherland's making my eyes well up, and I don't know why.
I did read a funny thing about they're playing gin rummy, aren't they? And they say they're going to play a penny a point. I think they say whatever, a cent a point, I suppose. And then we cut back, and she claims that he owes her $28,000. I mean, how long have they been playing gin rummy for? How many hands has she won? Like,
well, it felt like it's been that long watching the movie, I tell you. Blow my neck.
Yeah, the shirtless thing is hilarious, isn't it? I think the scene, I wonder if it's the one you're referring to, what you're thinking of in your head, is definitely what I want to refer to, which is after right at the start, the ship has sunk.
In
and
the bar.
he gets taken to, go and see Kevin Hart's like rapper turned mobster. So he's turned up for like a business meeting as such, or like a loan shark meeting. Yeah, he's got no top on, like glistening gold. Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it?
It is very funny. But going back to how, like, I don't like saying this phrase, but about how horny it is. There are also so many lines, like, and I can't remember what character's saying it to anyone. Oh, it's the Donald Sutherland's daughter, and where she says like stuff like, "Will you teach me how to dive?" Like all those double entendres, and I don't know. It was just I found all that kind of stuff lazy and
bit trite and a bit done, and
and just a little bit below what I'd expected from the cast.
Yeah, no, and you know, we can't help but compare this. And we have compared to Sahara and other things, but mostly to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And you know, say what you will about that movie, like it is clever. Like it's a clever concept. There's the way that the characters interact, and they're both kind of tricking each other. There's a cleverness, a quickness to it that is definitely missing here. All of that.
Yeah.
You're right. Lazy is right. It feels like it goes for the easiest joke every time, such as when he's swimming down underneath another interesting accented performance from Ray Winston. He's swimming down underneath his boat and he gets blown up out of the water, and the sword flies through the air and it lands between
her legs.
Yes, and you're just like, oh, okay, all right.
That was another thing that felt like a Carry On movie. I expected some guys to go doing.
Yeah, they pretty much did, didn't they? Yeah.
And going back to Ray Winston.
Yeah, go on.
Is this pre or post Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Because if Steven Spielberg watched this and said, Ray, I want you to do exactly the same performance you did.
It feels like he was just doing this constantly around this time, doesn't it? Because even, a great movie, but even Departed, he's a little bit kind of similar, I think, in terms of his accent work and the character he's playing. And his accent, I mean, is he deep south, right? He's from kind of southern state America, do you reckon?
But it veers because he goes from sounding like Cletus from The Simpsons, doesn't he? And then he slips into sounding like go and get him, you bloody bastards. That kind of stuff. And
he is not able to maintain an accent, is he, ever?
No. But what about Ewan Bremner?
Oh, my God.
So I thought in the first 3 minutes, I was like, this is going to be entertaining to play Where Is He From? But he spoils it by saying he's Ukrainian. And I was like, hang on a minute. I would not have had that in a million years, because he starts off doing that accent. I think I've heard him doing Alien versus Predator, where it's kind of like an Americanized version of his Spud from Trainspotting. And then it's for about 3 minutes, and then he slips into it and he tells him, I'm Ukrainian. And it's like, oh. Yeah.
It feels like that line was put in because they were probably thinking, like, everyone's just going to be wondering, maybe we've got to say it because this is not good.
But that's what my fun got.
Scottish playing Ukrainian. You've got Sutherland playing British for some reason. Yeah, Winston playing American. It's, oh, man. I don't know. I think it's the same year Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so...
It's in keeping with how all over the shop this film is.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah.
Same year as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I think it's the same year, yeah. So just basically just turned up for a year playing the same character with the same accent, yeah.
I wrote down in my notes, this is just Twister with treasure. Because you've got Bill Paxton, Matthew McConaughey, you've got Helen Hunt, Kate Hudson, you've got the wife figure in
like the fiance.
Paxton's wife in Twister. He's quite a problematic character in how badly she's treated. I feel the same about Donald Sutherland's daughter in this. In this, she's shipped in to be some kind of third wheel in this love triangle, this Jack Sawyer and Kate love triangle that never actually manifests. And they basically pick on her and bully her for being thick. And does she ever actually get any kind of redemption? Is she heroic?
Yeah, right at the end, she rides the jet ski, doesn't she, to help him get onto the plane?
She's kind of, I guess she's the only character in it I root for, but then she ends up with old Ewan Bremner.
Yeah, that
right at the start goes, well, I'm going to have her. And then it's like, oh, you
her dad.
Yeah, and then it turns out he does. So well done. Well done, Ewan.
The most unrealistic thing in this film is that Spud ends up with her. Yeah, absolutely. It's Alexis Denya. I'm not sure how you say her surname, but
what else has she been in? She's one of those people that I recognise but couldn't pinpoint it.
Yeah, I think I remember her mostly from a short-lived TV show called Invasion.
Oh, that had starred. Is that the Josh Holloway one?
No, I don't think so. It was pre him. Maybe it wasn't called Invasion. Yeah, William Fichtner was in it.
Oh, legend.
I think she played his daughter in that, and it was, as you would imagine, like an alien invasion type thing. But it only lasted a season. But I thought it was really good. Other than that, I don't really know what else she's from.
I thought she was the best thing in it, to be honest.
She has a bit of a Elijah Dushku-ness about her, a bit of Faith and Buffy-ness about her, I think, in terms of her look. And I could imagine her, depending on what role she got, I could imagine her sort of fitting into that.
She could be like part of a Buffy crew.
Yeah.
But let's not get you started on Buffy.
Well, listen, when that comes back, I mean, I'm going to explode.
I don't know. That sounds like a line from this movie.
I meant physically, maybe implode, I should say.
But going back to her and a point, a set piece involving her in the film, which was another thing where I felt like, what are you doing? Remember when her hat floats off?
This is how he's introduced to the big boat and to meet Sutherland.
And he rescues that hat as if it's if it's like the child in the baby in Children of Men,
right? Yeah,
and then he celebrates as if he's got the idol in Indiana Jones. It's like it's so stupid.
Yeah,
and the thing with McConaughey is he'll give it his all, won't he? I reckon
always,
if the director said to him, "Play this goofy," he's going to do that.
Yeah,
I think he's happy to do it. He'll be like,
yeah. I mean, you're right. He gives it his all, and he sells everything, I think, to the best visibility that he can. Like, I buy that Finn is excited by the fact that he managed to catch this hat. I shouldn't buy it. It shouldn't matter, but I do believe it in the moment for sure. Yeah,
Finn as well. Great name because he's a diver.
Finnegan, I think, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And they shorten it, don't they? Of course.
But very smart, very clever. It's operating on a different level. This film.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about McConaughey. So he gets his shirt off. I mean, he spends more time with his shirt off than shirt on. But also, if I was cut like him, so would I. I
don't know. I feel like this is one of his least. I just feel it's a very unmemorable role from him. I don't find it particularly likable or memorable. I didn't dislike him, but I just I think he's just a doofus. And they don't know whether they want to make him, because there's one bit where he will spiel off like treasure hunter Wikipedia. He'll be like, this treasure's been lost for da-da-da-da-da. And then the next minute it will like wink and crack a fart joke. I mean, he won't, but it's that kind of tone.
Yeah.
Where he'll go from they'll present him as so stupid and so dumb. And then the next minute he's speaking like Nick Cage in National Treasure, which is another film.
Yeah.
When was National Treasure out?
That's another good comparison point for sure.
Because this had the potential to be. It could have been. You know how National Treasure is just like rat-a-tat, 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 set piece, find a clue, move on, set piece, and it's really good. This had the potential to be that, and it only really turns into that in the final half an hour once they get to the church. And even then, when they get to the church, they use that lazy narrative device where he picks up a boulder and something's written under the boulder. It's like in a police movie where they'll drop a load of Polaroids on the floor, and the one of the person they're after is the one on top of the pile of Polaroids. It's just that's just so lazy, but there was so much potential there. Yeah,
2004 is National Treasure. For an hour in this movie, nothing happens.
No.
Literally nothing happens. Yeah, there's the kind of setup. They're looking for this boat. There's the divorce. There's like these kind of little mini things going on, but then everyone's just bobbing around in one part of the ocean. We have a couple of montages where like we see them, and they're different methods, don't we? Like Mac blows things up. I think that's his name.
Mac? Who's Mac?
Ray Winston.
Oh, Ray Winston. Yeah, okay.
Mac, I think. Or maybe he's Mac in Indiana
I think he's
Jones.
Mac in Indiana Jones.
Same. Who cares? He blows shit up, whilst McConaughey, he gets down under the water and he searches carefully. Again, I thought like, oh, this is interesting. Are they actually going to make a comment here about kind of the differences in the way that people search for treasure? And we can start getting into some kind of, dredging versus, I guess it's pre us knowing that, but, dredging versus like sustainable fishing methods. And no, it's just a quick montage where we don't really come back to that again. Because even when they're doing that, they're like picking up plastic and stuff, aren't they? And I thought, oh, this
is going to be a commentary upon how much plastic has ended up. Just toss it away.
Yeah, he just drops it again back in there. And doesn't. In fact, I think there's one shot where he puts it inside a bag. But again, it feels like they're these lost moments, like we said with the church and the sex scene. Like we've cut, so now we don't actually get to live in that moment, and that would then maybe help the relationship, and it would matter. We cut, so because we've got to get on to the next silly, funny moment.
Even the beginning sets the tone, and I was worried from the off because, there's that little motor on the boat, and the music accompanying that. I was like, oh, I didn't think this is the kind of film I was going to be watching. And the motor's like rattling off and falls, and then the ship sinks, and McConaughey doesn't realise.
Yeah.
How do you not know that a boat above your head in not the deepest water as well? Because
you can see it. Literally, you can see it.
Yeah. How do you not know? But then that just plays into the fact that he's a little bit stupid.
Yeah, I think now we're talking about it. I think what they did was they were aiming for like, what's the word where you're you've got no common sense. They were aiming for that, weren't they? Like he's an intelligent guy, but he gets so focused on one thing, like he sort of isn't paying attention to what's going on around him. He lacks that kind of general common sense. I think that's what they were aiming for, but you're right. It doesn't come across that way. It comes across as, doofus is the right word for it.
But if they'd have done that, like if the whole film would have been a little bit slapsticky, and he was like this oaf who's not oaf, but he was like this buffoon who was eventually, it was going to come good for him, then that would have been a great little arc.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is Jack Sparrow, isn't it? I mean, that's,
Yes.
That's what happens to him, really, isn't it? He is a doofus, but he sort of, there's something going on behind that. So do you wonder if it's all like an act because it's a way to hide the machinations that's actually going on in his brain and stuff? Yeah, for sure. There might have been something to it, yeah.
That which would have been good. I was disappointed in many things, but like the end, jumping back to the end, I wanted it to, and I know I want it, it's not for me to decide just because it didn't go the way I want. It doesn't mean it's bad, but I thought they could have done a Goonies ending, because the fact that they get the treasure and they reap the benefits of it, I was like, how is that a happy ending? It'd have been better if, like, because Ray Winston in the film I thought was like Chunk, because he's this character who he's bad, and then at the end he sweeps in and saves her. Yeah, you've got Kevin Hart being like the Fratellis, trying to grab the gold before they leave, and I thought, something's going to happen where the cave's going to collapse, and they're not going to get away with anything. But the real riches they've discovered is the fact they still love each other. This marriage that nobody believed in, including me, is still there. But no, they get the gold, they get everything.
Yeah.
The end.
The end. Happily ever after for everybody, other than Kevin Hart, obviously.
So what happens to him at the end? I can't.
He falls out the plane, doesn't he? We don't know if he dies or not, I suppose, but you get that really crappy CGI of him going like, ah.
But that also, isn't it spoilers for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning? Doesn't the baddie, hang on, pause if you watch the Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, but doesn't the baddie in that fall from the biplane, shoot it, and then it's out of control and he's having to do it?
Yes, exactly the same.
Christian McCoy's got a lot to answer for.
And to be fair, McConaughey running to get to the divorce court is very kind of cruisy running as well. So I think, and again, this must be, when's Mission Impossible 3? That's the first time of Cruise doing that. The
run on the bridge.
The run, isn't it? In where is it? It's in Shanghai, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So but they're right. We're making some links here. McCrory is a big fan of Fool's Gold, clearly,
and Spielberg.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So maybe it isn't bad. Maybe I'm the one. Oh, wow.
There is an uncomfortableness at times, isn't there, when they talk about... It's when characters talk about McConaughey. There's a lot of like, oh, he's got a big dick, or like, oh, he's really good in bed. And then you get the two gay guys, the two chefs.
The chefs, yeah.
And after they meet him, they're like, oh, yeah, he's got a raw sexuality about him. And like, there's a lot of this kind of like, I get it. McConaughey's, I think, a couple of years before this, he won the World's Sexiest Man. So, zeitgeisty, he's in the sphere of being a good-looking, handsome, sexy, guys want to be him and girls want to be with him.
Yeah, we all had our time.
Of course, yeah. It was the year after, I think, wasn't it?
Just one day, yeah.
But, there's a little bit of a weird focus on that in the movie, which didn't add anything. Again, like, I'm not sure what the purpose of it was. Maybe
that's the selling point for the film, because... even though this is considered like a bit of a nadir in terms of the quality, it still did quite well. I was really shocked when I look up the box office statistics. I thought this would be like a 30 million domestic and out, but it did 70 million at the domestic box office.
Yeah, 111 worldwide, yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, it didn't make... If you do that whole... I don't know how true all this stuff is. It didn't do its double the budget, because it's 70 million it's priced at. But that's just got to be residual... How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, hasn't it?
Yes.
It's got to be the people that love that movie going to see this, hoping to see those two back together again. But by that measure, like, I think you should... not that I'm saying we should objectify Kate Hudson, but then if we're saying, like, he's super sexy and he's, great in bed, and, like, we should be getting some kind of inverse, shouldn't we?
Yes, but I don't know whether that sold back then, did it?
Well, I don't... In terms of, like, if we're rooting for them to get back together and we're giving him this kind of free spirit character of, like, everyone's kind of saying to her, it's either don't be with him because you can't trust him, and he'll keep making the same mistakes over and over and over, or it's like, oh, he's so good in bed, like why would you give that up?
And she does that. That's the thing which kind of frustrated me about her character, because she would go on about his faults, and then she'd like do a lip biting bit and be like, but remember, oof, but he is, oof, but do you remember that, oof, like that. I'm sorry you had to listen to that, but it's kind of like that. But I was like that. I don't want that to be her character.
Yeah,
he should have to earn her. He should have to win her back.
Yes, that's why either we need to find that balance, like we do in How to Lose a Guy. Like it's balance, and it works because they're both in the wrong, but they're both in the right for what they're doing. Their motivations are all over the place, but you can take both sides or neither side. Do you know what I mean? It really works in that movie. Whereas here, I guess we're meant to think he's cool, so she should get back with him.
Yeah.
But they don't give her any kind of, as you said, like there's no arc for her. There's no...
What do we know about her, though?
She wants to be a writer and move back to Chicago.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. She's been living this life. She got caught up in the life with him, didn't she, essentially? Like, they met, he swept her off her feet. Has turned her head, I think, and like she's gone down this road with him and has realised she doesn't want to be doing it anymore. But then by the end of the movie, she's realised she does.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do still love him, and now we're rich. So
yeah, fuck it.
The thing is, with films like this, once again, going back to how lazy this is, I was watching it thinking, did you see, is it The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum?
Oh, yeah. Like a Romancing the Stone kind of.
And also, I've got Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner written down here because, that's a classic. So comparing it to that, but The Lost City, it's a knockabout film. It's it's not going to change the world, but it gets the couple at the centre of it so right, and they bicker all the way through. But it's all believable. I like you've already said, I don't know whether they've just got very lazy because they knew they could sell this film on the fact it was a reunion between them two, and they thought that'll be enough. And I think that's what it is. Yeah,
I think that is what it is, and I think you were insightful from what you said before that they're all just happy to be together, off in Australia, having a great time. McConaughey's off surfing, I imagine, every second that he's not having to be on set, acting the movie or preparing or anything. So it probably was the least important thing they were doing whilst they were there, was making this film.
Did you laugh at any of it? Tell me if you can recall any moment when you laughed.
Yeah.
And any moment where you were genuinely moved. Because I'm a crier, I'll cry at anything, and like nothing moved me in this.
Not moved, not once, and I wouldn't class them as laughs, quote unquote. But there were two kind of like moments for me. That's about the level it got to. The first one was just after they've got divorced, and she stomped off down the path and called him back, and we have him going like bullshit that we've got that How to Lose a Guy in 10 days.
Okay,
call back. Yeah, that wasn't what made me laugh, to be honest. But I was like, oh yeah, okay, I like that. It was when she says, I'm going to sell the boat. I liked his reaction to that when he says, oh, this is going to be hard to say. And then he leans in and he whispers in her ear. And then she has the look on her face of, realization and horror. And it was a little thing he does afterwards. He does a kind of like... There's just something in his performance that made me give me a little chuckle. Nobody could see that. Terrible podcast. I mean, he sort of points down to show the ship sunk and he has a kind of shrug like...
that was a good bit. I do like that. That was quite charming. Yeah,
and on the plane at the end, when she says, oh, you're flying. How are we going to land? And he's like, yep. Because she said, oh, you're flying. Yep. How are we going to land? Yep. I just thought his delivery there was pretty decent as well.
Actually, there's a very real look between the two of them in that bit as well, which also felt very outtakey. If you go back and watch it, it's as if he's delivered that line and she genuinely laughs at it. And that felt a little bit off, but it also felt very real. I'd be interested to see whether the director just left those bits in because they were the truest things he got in the film.
Yeah, a bit like some of the moments in Spy that I think with Melissa McCarthy, and particularly when her and State are together, I think there's some moments there, what as you just said, where particularly that final bit in their bed, I think there's just riffing going on there, isn't there? And they just decide to leave it in because it's working. Yeah, interesting. And it is, like you said, that moment when when they ditch and they're in the sea and they survive. improbably from the Impossible Mission Force final moment ending. There is that naturalness between them, isn't there?
I was surprised, and this is just something popping into my head. There was no sharks in this film.
Good point.
Something that maintained my interest while watching was like, when's the shark coming? When's the shark coming?
Yeah.
It's,
even if it's Kevin Hart as he fell down, if with the level of comedy we've got in this movie, we should have cut to a big shark just going like, waiting to catch him.
What did you think of Kevin Hart as well?
Awful. I generally I find him very inoffensive. I don't think he's great. I don't think much of him at all, really.
Yeah, he can be good.
Yeah, he's just so miscast here.
Well, this is obviously early in his film career, maybe one of his first performances, but he is playing it relatively straight.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like a lot of his stuff ad-libbed, I reckon the director's gone, this is the funny guy, okay, go. And he just gives them all this serious, diminutive gangster thing, and all the jokes are left to his lackeys to crack. But none of them are very funny either.
No, not at all.
It's really weird. It's just really weird.
Yeah, I think if they wanted him to, if you're going to cast him, I think they just needed to let him go, didn't they, really? But you're right, he's been too restrained. And it's just, that kind of character needs to be either totally wacky, so it feels threatening because you never know what they're going to do or what they're going to say next, or, shooting a henchman. It's a classic thing, and we get it in this movie. But that kind of threat needs to feel like it's there all the way through. Or they need to be genuinely kind of a scary, imposing person, right? But he's neither of those things.
No, it's going back to the Lost City. Like, I think Daniel Radcliffe in that he's the baddie, isn't he? And he's a bit weird, but he's also kind of threatening as well. So you got that perfect balance. And if Kevin Hart had come in and he'd been like this inept baddie who's funny, then it might have worked. But yeah, you're right. He's neither.
Yeah, it's a bit nothing, isn't it? Really, which is a shame because, as you said, like when he is allowed to shine, he can do that. I mean, I'm not sure. I think he had those couple of movies with The Rock where I think that was his moment, and they were both pretty. And Central Intelligence, I think, is pretty decent, like in terms of the chemistry they've got there, and that was sort of his moment, wasn't it? Where it was like, just be yourself because you're funny. I didn't think much of him really. I thought there was so many other interesting things they could have done with that character.
I feel that with everyone though. It feels like it's very one take. Like they've just turned up, done that, and been like, yeah, that'll do. Move on.
Clint Eastwood movie, yeah.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? Not a lot, but
there isn't to be honest. It's
we touched upon the ending, haven't we? So let's talk about the cave and then the build up. So we hit a little bit of damsel in distressiness, don't we? So we have the cemetery scene, and they find the clue, and they realise the boat is in a different. Or they've realised the boat is somewhere else. Now they've realised the treasure is in the blowhole cave, which is kind of a cool concept, I think.
It is, but they keep saying blowhole too much, which also plays into the horny side of the movie.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
Stop saying blowhole.
Yeah, and talking of that, actually, maybe it was just me. There was a scene when they were training Donald Sutherland and his daughter up to use the scuba gear, and there was a moment with Kate Hudson and Donald Sutherland. He was in a jacuzzi.
It's an outtake, 100%.
But the way that like Kate Hudson like pushed him down to the jacuzzi, I was like, oh, I don't need to see Donald Sutherland going between her legs. That is not an image.
And she does that laugh as if it's an outtake. I was like, I don't know how old Donald Sutherland is, but I'm like, you are dunking a very old man underwater and laughing about it. So sort yourself out, Hudson.
It's true. Blowhole. Good point. So I thought that's kind of a cool concept, but that's kind of where it kicks off, and it becomes like an action movie, isn't it? And it's like, again, and now we've got a tonal shift. We've got her surviving underwater every 50 seconds or something.
She was under there for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
She was under there longer than Tom Cruise was in that submarine in Dead Reckoning.
That's true. Or in even...
Final Reckoning.
Oh, yeah. Or what's the one when he's swimming through that big underwater... That's not Ghost Protocol. What comes after that? Rogue Nation. Cruise in Rogue Nation as well, doesn't he?
Oh, okay.
That one as well. When he drowns, the first time he drowns.
I thought the use of the blowhole, especially the way that guy, the bit with the blood gush, I thought that was the smartest bit of the movie. I thought that was a really good way of doing it.
Yeah. And the reactions were quite almost like outtaking, like they were almost Alien style, that Kevin Hart wasn't expecting that because he was a little bit like, this is his best bit of acting. Like he actually looked generally bothered by what he saw.
It was comedic as well because that foot lands and then the camera pans to everyone's reactions. And I swear some of them are stood on the other side of the island but still go zoinks.
It's amazing how far that spread. Yeah. But I wonder how you felt about, because she gets taken, doesn't she? And she gets forced down to this player hole. And she sort of comes up with her own way to rescue herself, which is cool, which is clever. And then she gets taken again and put on the plane by Kevin Hart and flown away. But then she sort of tries to fight back with him there too. So I wonder how you felt like, does it avoid the kind of damsel in distress trope? Because they keep giving her moments to be resourceful, or the fact that they keep repeating her being taken, is that problematic?
Problematic. Once again, I think it's just lazy. I don't think it's. Yeah. I think they're looking for. Obviously, McConaughey's going to be the hero to rescue her. They're looking to facilitate him having that moment. Her keep on getting kidnapped. I guess it just falls in line with the intelligence levels in the movie. Nobody actually seems particularly smart, even those that are kidnapping her. So, did I find that problematic? I don't think so. I think it's just like symptomatic of lazy script writing. You know, we've turned this last 20 minutes into an action film. What are we going to do? Let's have get kidnapped. Let's do it in a plane. But when I watched it, I didn't find it particularly offensive or anything like that. And then when you say it now, I don't. You know, it doesn't. It is what it is. What about you?
Well, it jumped into my head. I just thought the first time I thought, oh, that's a shame that they've gone there because we should be having these characters as equal status. But then they give her this cool moment, this cool kind of way for her to survive down this play hole and outsmart everyone. And I was like, oh, that's great. I really like that. It still requires McConaughey to do a bit of saving, but that's okay. Like either way, that kind of works. If it'd been the other way around, I would like the fact that she would have just bravely jumped in to save him. I think we've hit that point in the movie where we know they're going to do what it takes to keep each other safe. But then when she gets taken again, that's when I felt that laziness coming. I was just like, oh God, okay, we've done this once in this film already, and it's a trope.
You're right. It would have been excellent if the end would have been McConaughey down the blowhole and then her using that ingenuity that she did on her own to somehow save him. That would have been much better. But it feels like they got to the end and they were like, oh, we've still got $2 million. Let's get a biplane in.
Yeah. Well, they used that. Yeah, that we'd seen him fly it earlier, hadn't they? So I guess that was their little kind of Chekhov's biplane. It's like we've got to get this in later. And the only other scene that really stands out to me is you touched upon it, but I think then we got distracted talking about something else. Is when they are laying out the kind of history of the ship of the Aurora to Donald Sutherland. Oh my God, that exposition scene drags on for. Ever, doesn't it? It's the four of them sat together, Sutherland and his daughter, and Hudson and McConaughey, and just there must have been a better way to do that scene.
But why do you think they do that? Do you think they do that to make them feel like, you know, how Indy has his, you know, he knows his history, loves the history, he's doing it 50% for like to put stuff in a museum, and even like what's Nicolas Cage's character's name? Is it Benjamin Franklin in National Treasure?
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Even him, he does it for like ethical reasons. There's morals to it, and I wonder whether they just thought, oh, hang on, these guys are a bit greedy, and in the end they are reaping their rewards. I know it gets stuck in him. The thing is,
it's in a museum.
There is that museum shot framed at the end, which is so weird. I expected a title card to come up and go just to validate it and maybe give it a little bit more weight, but it doesn't. And that exposition scene,
it felt like it just went on forever, didn't it? And there are ways to do it. I think of some of the, you know, even the things you've mentioned there, but, you know, when Indiana Jones has those scenes, or I always think of Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Like you get two in Back to the Future. You get the first one when he's writing on the chalkboard, but because of his performance, because of what's happening, like you're just totally caught up in it. And you get like when he builds the model set, which is one of the best moments of that movie. I'm sorry, it's not to scale and size, whatever it is that he says. It's so good. So you can do exposition.
I would, you know what I'd have done if I was writing this? I'd have made McConaughey's character some sort of distant relation to somebody involved in the history. Just so you've got a reason for him doing this and knowing this, and just give him a little bit more motivation. Because even
Other than
going on,
I want fame or success. Yeah.
even going on to, did they ever say why they do what they do? Did I miss why? Do they have a passion for it?
No, I don't think so. I think he's already doing it, and then they meet, don't they? So she gets caught up in it. I think they do talk about the fact that she is into the history side of it because they spent 2 years in a library in Rome, or whatever as they say. No, you definitely didn't. So yeah, I think she's interested in the historical aspect, isn't she? Whereas he likes the thrill of the chase and the danger and the being in the sea and he's a man's man who likes to get his hands dirty, but nothing more than that I got myself.
Yeah, no, what wasted opportunity.
Yeah, and maybe that's the best way to think of this movie. That's the best way to start thinking about wrapping up. There's a lot of things they could have done with this to have given us something that felt fresh or exciting, or
like there's like, because I know you've referenced Sahara. That I remember when that came out, that was very much they were trying to start a franchise, weren't they?
for sure.
I don't know whether they were trying to do that with this, but there's the foundations of something you could do with a franchise with these characters, but it's just it's not built upon.
No, I think Sahara's one which you could definitely feel it, and I think McConaughey was really invested in that character and wanting to turn that into a series. But then he's never really done sequels, or he's never really done franchise movies, has he? So I think perhaps that put him off maybe. So I don't know if that would have been the intention here. I think it would have been hard to get these two guys back together again. They've never done anything since this, unfortunately. And despite kind of the complaints, and I think fair criticisms that have been levelled between us at this, I would definitely, if they announced they're doing a film together again, I'd be like, oh, great. Like,
oh, yeah, me too. I definitely would. I think this is a product of its time. Look at the films we've referenced that surrounded it, that have informed it, that have influenced it. And if you look at the director's CV, he's simply just trying to use that as a template to make some bastardization of Pirates of the Caribbean and National Treasure and all those other things. And it made the money. It made its treasure at the box office, even if it wasn't what they were going for. It was still a success.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a shame because I think we'd be hard pressed to get them back together now, really, because he's gone off on this kind of much more dramatic side of acting, hasn't he? I'm not sure what this TV show, Woody Harrelson's going to be. I'm not sure how broad that's going to be. Like, the synopsis of it sounds kind of broad to me.
There was rumours for him coming back as Rust Cole as well, wasn't there? For a True Detective thing, because I know he's going to be doing a Netflix movie with the True Detective writer.
Yeah, is it Nick Pizzolatto or something?
Yeah.
So, he's totally moved away from that world, hasn't he? And of course, I don't know if you watched Running Point, which I thought was pretty decent, actually. Kate Hudson's latest Netflix show.
Netflix show? No.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Kate Hudson in was Under the Blood Moon, I believe it's called.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is it Lisa in the Blood? Something like that.
Yeah, Lisa in the Blood Moon. That's it. Yeah. The lady who did what's that vampire one?
I know what you mean. The black and white.
Annalisa Kapoor or something. Yeah.
That,
it was a strange film, but she was terrific in that. And I'd always watch anything Kate Hudson does because of Almost Famous. That's a top tenner for me, and I think she's absolutely terrific and watchable, and just completely wasted in this. It's like in this, she's just like she's like a meme before there were memes. Everything is just a reaction for her, or a wink, or a giggle, or there's nothing beneath that. But then the same for McConaughey. He's the same.
Yeah. They're having too much fun offset to be able to translate it into what they're doing on set, perhaps.
Maybe. I'm just jealous.
Well, of McConaughey or Hudson?
Oh, just of having fun.
All right, that's what we think. Should we see what they say on Letterboxd?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Theo says, what if Romancing the Stone was boring, unfunny, and featured an entirely orange cast?
Harsh, I think they all look very good.
Yeah, me too. Well, these two look good.
I thought Sutherland looked great.
I mean, sure, of course. If I look as good as he does at his age, but Spud looks like Spud, right? He will always be Spud.
He will always be Spud, yeah.
Sorry, Ewan Bremner.
Or Guy in Alien versus Predator. Double mention for Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, that's...
Nothing, it's not too bad, you know.
You're really pushing it.
Yeah. I'm an apologist.
For sure. It needs to be apologised for as well. Gabriella says, how to riz ex-wife in 10 days.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I'm old enough. And
what's riz?
Yeah, I actually Googled riz. I did.
Mate,
I'm not sorry. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. Just to make sure I really fully understood that reference.
It's probably because you're the origin of riz.
Wow. I mean, I'm not sure how to say that, if I'm honest.
Take it the worst way possible. All right, what else is Gabriella saying?
That's it. That's all she has to say.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Keith, though, he's got a bit more.
Go on, Keith.
Terrible movie, and you might find the storyline predictable or cliche, but Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey's chemistry is unmatched.
Nah, Keith. Sorry. It has been matched and beaten by their previous efforts.
But I think what you said's true. I think maybe it's that residual sense of like, I'm so glad to see them on screen together again.
Yeah, if you did it with a double bill with the previous films, then yeah, I'm sure it would carry over.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't hold a candle to How To's a Guy.
No, not at all.
All right, last one. Sasha says, I finally understand why this was the in-flight movie on every domestic flight in the US from 2008 to 2010. Action, check. Romance, check. Matthew McConaughey shirtless or in a wet t-shirt for 90% of the film, check. Fool's Gold is fun from beginning to end, towing the line of sexy comedy film with family-friendly action and solid A, B, and C plots throughout. Only thing more shocking than how much I loved this film is how I'd never seen it all the way through before.
Why did you keep turning it off then? Was it Sheila? Was that her name?
Sasha.
Sasha, why did you turn it off if you loved it so much?
Good point. Maybe they kept catching bits of it on TV or, in passing, or when maybe they fly a lot and they just could never get to the end of the movie.
Yeah, maybe like short haul flights, yeah.
But that was quite positive. But generally speaking, yeah, they err on the negative the reviews for this movie.
You can do bad versions of this better because do you remember 6 Days, 7 Nights? Harrison
Now,
Ford?
I have never seen that. I saw that reference in a few other Letterboxd reviews that I spotted. I've never seen that one.
Now, that bombed. I might like it because I saw it on National Cinema Day, so it only cost me £1, and I saw it sandwiched between, I think, From Dusk Till Dawn and The Wedding Singer, so I had a heck of a day that day.
Yeah, right.
But I kind of liked it, but it's very similar, but it does it. It's just got more of a coherent film, I think. I think the incoherence of this and the fact they don't know what they're making and they're thinking it's all right, whatever we chuck out will work. Because films like this now, even though this isn't very good, it's quite sad that we don't get these kind of films in cinemas anymore. You don't get mid-level, borderline rubbish rom-coms, and I love a rom-com. Okay,
but true.
You don't get the bad ones that would even be like a Friday night success because they all get dumped on. They're all on Netflix. All these romantic comedies, and it's sad that movies like this don't exist anymore. Yeah, because I'd rather take a crappy rom-com like this than have to watch something on Netflix starring some square-jawed guy I've never heard of.
Right, yeah, just some identikit, like from a teen show, yeah, like the Prince and the
I don't know what they call it,
but I know what you mean.
Yeah, like that, like the Christmas Prince's Wish and that kind of stuff. I'd much rather go and watch Fool's Gold than stream something like that.
Yeah. There's something you said there that just, I know we're wrapping up, but something you said there just gave me a new thought that I wonder if this was adversely affected by this being the rise of Apatow around this period as well. And I wonder if that was, you said, like some improvisational feeling moments in this and tonally it's a bit all over the place. And I wonder if there's a little bit of like, that's really popular, so let's add that in a little bit and let's...
Maybe, but that kind of, at least with Apatow, even though there was bloat, the characterization was still brilliant, wasn't it? They used their breathing space for character work. they're not really bothered about any of that. Like, we've not been able to touch on any of these characters' backstories, apart from, like I said, the only one that hit me was Donald Sutherland's wife, and the bit where he goes, "I did love your mother," and she walks away and he goes, "And I love you," and yeah,
good.
A bit more of that, please.
Yeah, fair. So there's probably no prizes for guessing of our 3 categories. Classic, worth catching, completist only. Where would you place it?
Ooh, it's completist only.
Okay, fair. So that means U571, you said was worth catching.
Yeah, this is definitely above U571. But also, do you know what? In kind of, not a hate watch, because I didn't hate this film. There's still a few bits to like. I'd love to sit around with 2 or 3 people and put this on and still have a chuckle about it or talk about it afterwards. I think there's still some merit in that. Any film where you can, because we were worried that we wouldn't have much to say here, but we've still talked for an hour. Any film that gets you talking like that, is worth watching. And if you can sit there and have a laugh about what you've just watched, then there is some merit to it, definitely.
Yeah, and although it's not just like a straight rom-com, it's not looking at this compared to what, from that period of his acting career, from his filmography, we've got Fool's Gold, Failure to Launch, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Wedding Planner, of those ilk, it's still top half.
Because I prefer Failure to Launch.
Oof.
Obviously. Oh, no. But then again...
Not I personally, for me, no.
Oh, well, I haven't seen that since I got the Region 1 DVD ordered back in the day. But I think Wedding Planet, that's the J-Lo one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bottom of the pile for me. I think I reviewed that and gave it 1 star.
Yeah, that's bad. Failure to Launch, I think, is so far for me, one of his worst. Just talking
Bradley
about
Cooper's in that, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about Tony all over the place.
When he was in Alias, so I was probably...
Yeah, that's right.
That was my residual bleeding into it.
Yeah. And weird animal attacks in that one. Yeah, so I think this is still... I mean, we're not saying top tier, but it's top half of those 4. We've got Ghost of Girlfriend's Past to come. So...
but it's got Garner in.
That's got Garner in again, but it's awful. All these poor women been cast in these terrible movies alongside McConaughey. Yes, but we're nearing the end of this period. So
what's next? What's next chronologically for old Mahogany?
I've got my list up. Next is Tropic Thunder. Obviously, more of an extended cameo.
Very good, yeah. Not revisited though.
No, so it's going to be interesting because obviously Stiller does not apologise for that movie. He's very.
And I don't think he should, but it'll be interesting to hear what you say next episode.
Yeah, I've not ever seen Surfer Dude. That comes after that.
Never even heard of it.
No, and then it goes to Girlfriend's Past, and then it's him sort of saying, "Stake in the ground. That's it. I'm done. I'm not doing these anymore." And it's a couple of years till he's in the Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln Lawyer, great. Because when Lincoln Lawyer came out, and we shouldn't spoil that, but because when you said he doesn't do sequels, I remember when that came out and did well, they were on about doing another one because isn't it based on a series of books or something?
I think so. Because then there's been a Netflix TV series.
Felipe did a TV series. Yeah, that was that's great. I look forward to watching and listening to that one as well.
Yeah, so we're getting towards the end of this period, and considering, like I said at the top of this, well, this is about halfway now. So when I made my list, it was 52. Obviously now it's creeping up because we've got the Lost Bus coming out, and then the one we were talking about before that I've now forgotten the name of again. So it's creeping up, but this is halfway, and it has been choppy waters up until this point.
But there's enough gold in there, though, isn't there? There's enough good stuff. You're going to have your time to kills.
Yeah.
You're going to have your Amistad. I still like Amistad, but that might be my Spielberg bias.
No, there's been some good ones.
Yeah.
Contact's good, yeah, obviously. But there's good times ahead. Like, things are about to kick on for him. So I'm looking forward to getting to this next stage as well.
Me too. When am I next on? Is my name down on anything that's good? Or am I back on for like The Beach Bum with Harmony Korine?
No, the next thing you're down for is True Detective season 1.
I thought so. I can't wait to rewatch that.
No, I've not seen it since it came out. So I'm the same, and I've never seen any of the sequel series. So I think I'm going to wait. Obviously, watch that again for us to discuss it, and then I'm going to go on and watch 2, 3, 4, which I know are not as good according to
2. I like 2, and then a lot of people don't like 2. Mm-hmm. But you've got Farrell.
Farrell, Rachel McAdams.
Being brilliant. Rachel McAdams being brilliant. You've got Taylor Kitsch, John Carter of Mars, and also, what was his name in... you watched Friday Night Lights. Tim Riggins.
Friday Night Lights, yeah.
There you go. That was the test. Well done, you passed. But I do like that. And there's a lot to like about the rest of them as well. So, I'm looking forward to rewatching that. I can't wait. And
obviously we get Nick Cage in season 5 of True Detective, don't we? So
that has that been confirmed?
I thought, maybe. I don't know. Rumoured anyway, for sure.
Nick Cage seems like the sort of actor that you'll probably do next.
I mean, I would actually love to do Nick Cage, but he has got so many movies.
Yeah, and he's another one like Statham for me. Well, the joke's worn a bit thin.
Yeah, fair. I'll be as old as Donald Sutherland by the time we finish.
The McConaughey one?
No, if I did Nick Cage.
Have you... you probably can't do spoilers, but are you going to do an actress next?
Oh, I could do spoilers. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I need to mix it up a little bit. I've got a few in mind. So I can't quite decide who. Yeah. So I think towards the end of this, I might put a little poll out there and let people pick for me.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. No way. Brilliant, mate. Thank you so much.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah. Thank you.
And we'll do True Detective next.
Yeah. See you then.
All right. Well, Matt wasn't fooling around with his takes on this movie, but as you heard, it was hard to argue against any of his valid judgments. Obviously, I have to thank him for sitting through a substandard filmic offering, and I extend my thanks to you listeners too, for your continued engagement and participation as we journey through the reconnaissance. That was Fool's Gold. Next up in a fortnight, I'm going to be discussing Eminem's extended cameo role in Ben Stiller's Tropic Thunder, for those that are watching along. Until next time, be excellent to each other and make sure you take the time to treat yourself too. I am Jack signing off. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers!
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Cut.
100%.